Hello families, welcome back to another lesson of American Sign Language for families. That's right, for all of you. And today I was sitting here getting kind of ready for Easter with my own family, which is happening tomorrow, at the time that the video was made anyway. Don't panic if you're not prepared and it's not, and maybe it's August or something when you're watching this. Don't worry, it's going to be fine. Yeah, right now, Easter is going to be happening tomorrow, and I thought maybe for some families, especially with young children, this would be the perfect opportunity to feed you guys some more signs and get you ready for the holiday. So, are you ready? Let's jump right in and get started quickly. I'm going to sit up straight because I have a tendency to slouch in my chair. All right, let's get started. So let's start with Easter, okay? So we're going to make E's on both my dominant and my non-dominant hand. I'm going to take my dominant hand, this is a little tricky, and I'm going to kind of place it behind the other hand. So they're almost kind of making, it's almost like you could put it up as a telescope, but not exactly. This is quality teaching here. I hope you're getting what you paid for. So E's, this part of my dominant hand against this part of my non-dominant hand, and then I'm going to kind of move them down and apart, and as I move them apart I'm going to wiggle them. So let's see if I can get a good angle here. I'm going to move them down, apart, and wiggle them a little bit. So the sign look like, it's almost like you're breaking an egg apart, and I don't know, you're wiggling the shell to get rid of the gooey stuff inside. So break apart and then wiggle. Easter, Easter, okay? I'm doing it a little high to keep it on camera. It should be a little lower, I think. So maybe like down right around the level of Hobbs in my shirt. And Easter, okay, Easter. So the next sign that many children are very fascinated with or terrified about at Easter time is bunny. So there's a couple signs, a couple signs for bunny or rabbit. So I'll kind of show you the difference. So for bunny, it tends to, we tend to use B's, and then we make a sign like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the B hand shapes. We're going to turn them so their backs are facing out, cross dominant hand. To my perspective, my dominant hand is going in front of the other hand. And then once I've got them both crossed like this, I'm going to lower them, and then I'm going to pull the four fingers up. You could do it twice or a few times. Bunny, bunny, okay? Bunny, bunny. Now, the other sign I've seen for that is rabbit with R's, okay? But before I go on, let's go ahead and slow down with that a little bit. Sorry, I get ahead of myself sometimes. R's, same thing. You're turning the backs of the hands out, crossing the other hand so that it's sitting like this, and then you're going to wiggle the R's, okay? Now, you guys are kind of catching this video as there's a real time of transition in ASL happening right now. There's a lot of changes going on with the ways that old guys like myself learned how to sign many years ago. And one of the things, I think that it's a good thing, is that ASL is really kind of asserting its own kind of independence as a language and trying to separate itself more and more from English. So you always have finger spelling that you can connect to the English when you need to. But this is another example. If you've got B's for bunny and you've got R's for rabbit, it's really connecting to the English through using that letter. And that whole process is called initialization. Initialization is when we use one letter, like you might see I for I, and that's why we taught this way instead. This is really more of an English sign, and what we're really trying to teach you is American Sign Language, which is the natural language for deaf children. So, many deaf children. Never want to make a blanket statement that my way is the right way for everyone. But there's some research that supports that that ASL as a first language for many deaf children is the best way to go. There's a little philosophy for you. Sorry, my bias is showing again. Anyway, so one way that we can kind of reduce our connecting to the letters and initializing, kind of separating it from the English, which also respects Spanish-speaking families, I don't know, French-speaking families. I said French-speaking Spanish. French-speaking families, thank you. This is a way to really kind of establish ASL as kind of its own thing. It's separate, it's different. So here's a little word of encouragement. After all that talking and blah, 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 we're going to say, instead of using a B, instead of using a R, it's good to know those. Your child might need to know those signs when they go to school, because not all teachers are making the change. But we could also do this and just substitute two fingers. It looks like a letter U, but we're really using it just to represent the rabbit or the bunny, their long ears. Okay? So two fingers. You're going to turn your hands back, cross the one in front like this again, and then just flip it twice. Okay? Use this sign, bunny, rabbit. I can try and think if there's any other word it could represent. No, that's pretty much it. Bunny or rabbit. Okay? Basket, there's a kind of a general sign that you use for any kind of a container that you might use to carry something, and it's like this, basket. Okay, so again, we're not going to make it a B. We're going to kind of embrace this change as it's coming. We're just going to use a flat hand with the fingers together. Now, let's see if I can show this clearly. What you're going to be doing is you're going to be moving from here by the wrist in an arc all the way around to close to your elbow, showing the shape of something, okay, showing the shape of that basket. So we're going to touch here and then go around. My old habit is to do a B for basket, so bear with me if I make mistakes as we adapt to some of the changes that are happening. But you want to do right here, just go ahead, and the thumb doesn't have to stick out like hardcore, but just kind of relax there. You're going to have the index finger part of this hand touch right at the wrist, fingers pointing out, and then it's going to swoop down and make like a bowl shape, and then your pinky finger is going to touch here by your elbow, basket. So now you guys can sign Easter basket. Easter basket. Okay. Basket. And let me show that from a couple different angles. It's kind of a weird one. So we're going to do here and then come. My thumb is still tucking. I think it just naturally goes, it tucks there. It's not that you're making a B, but it's kind of out of the way there. And then you're going to go around and make a basket. Okay? Basket. And then you sign it from this direction too. Whoa, that really doesn't help you at all because my giant elbow is in the way. So you're going to touch your wrist here and then go down and around. Basket. Okay, or straight on again, back up a little bit, basket. Basket. Okay, so we've done Easter, we've done bunny or rabbit, we've done basket. All right, still with me, still doing well? Okay, next sign is super easy. Again, you're going to use these two fingers, and I don't know why exactly, but that's what we're going to do. You're going to put them out at angles to each other. So this one's pointing, this is my non-dominant left hand pointing to the right. This is my dominant right hand pointing to the left, just a little bit. They're not straight out, they're not like this, they're kind of at an angle. And then you put the dominant hand on top, and then again, like the Easter sign, you're going to kind of break them apart like the egg that's separating, okay? Let me turn my chair a little straighter here. So, do it twice. Okay? Egg. Egg. Let me give a little angle here for perspective. Egg. And egg. Now, sometimes I'm showing these, I'm finding I'm lifting my hands too high. Placement from where it's at on your face, where it's at on your body really is important. So this sign should probably be kind of like right at torso height. It's not down low and it's not up high like this. It's kind of right, again, right about where Hobbes's head is. Okay? And then eggs. Eggs. Okay? Egg or eggs. Good. Okay. Next, something that many of you may do at Easter time What would you do? There's that rhetorical question. What would you do? Or what do? What would you do? You're going to dye your eggs. So, make them. There I am. Okay, so you're going to make those O's and then squish them flat. So you have flat O hand shapes, almost like little sock puppets. All right, hands out in front, the fingers facing, then turn them so they're pointed down, and then dip 2 times, okay? Die. Die. Not like die, but die. Okay, I'm sure you probably figured that out. So dye, we're going to color the eggs. We're going to dye them. Dye them. Okay, from the side, dye. From the other side, dye. Going to dye. We will dye eggs tomorrow. All right, good sentence for you guys to practice. I have something in my eye. It's gone. Next, let's do the sign for color, which I can't recall if I've done before, but hey, it's review if I have. So the sign for color is really easy. You take your 5 hand, you're going to turn it around so the back of the hand is out, and then you're going to touch your chin with just like the middle finger and maybe the index, or these 3 fingers here are the point of contact. And then you just wiggle your fingers. Color, color, okay, color. From the side a little bit, color. With my crazy weird pinky, sorry, don't copy my pinky. And then color. All right. A lot of times when kids are adding the dye to the hot water, they might need to stir. So let's just make a container. You could either use a C in your non-dominant hand. For me, it's my left hand. And then tip it over to show a cup-shaped container. Or if you have a mug, you can use an X hand shape, like your finger has worked through the hook on the cup. Okay. But in some way, you're going to want to establish the shape of the container. Or it could even be like this if you have a bowl. Okay. Move my hand up a little bit so you can see better. Cup, bowl. Oh, sorry, it should be like a glass or tubular container. A bowl or cup. Whatever you have, then you're just going to take the S hand shape on your dominant hand, turn it so that, like you're going to punch someone. Don't punch anybody, but that's what it looks like. And then you're going to use that to stir. Just make a stirring motion, okay? If you have the bowl, here's my bowl hand. I'm going to make a stirring motion here. Or if I have a cup, I'm going to stir in the cup. Make that stirring motion in the cup. You can see I'm doing it right above. Okay, or I could stir in the coffee cup, or if I have a bowl, I could stir in the bowl. Okay, you're using this hand as something called a classifier. That's coming up next. It's very soon. It has to do a lot with, we taught words for prepositions. Now we're going to show you a better way of making pictures, a way that's going to be even better. And you use hand shapes like that, like this, or like this, or like this, to represent objects and their location in space, classifiers. Okay, so that's to stir. I think we've done these before, but I'll do them again because they're related, and maybe they're review and maybe they're not. My organization is not great. So we're going to do hot. You're going to do a 5 hand, bend those fingers so you have like a claw, and that claw is going to touch your chin and then twist out and away. Hot, 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 hot. Okay? Again, from the chin, go out this way, and it goes super slow this time so you guys can really watch. Here we go. Hot. Imagine that you have a hot, I don't know, apple? Muffin? Something that's hot. And you just took a bite and you're throwing it away because it's hot. Okay? Hot. And then there's cold. So you may be mixing your dye in hot water, or you might be mixing it in cold water. It just depends on how you roll. Okay. So hot, and then cold is those S hands, thumbs kind of towards each other right in front of you, kind of mid-shoulder height, and then bring them together and kind of do the cold mouth. You don't have to be quite that dramatic, but you get the idea. Cold. All right, next up, something very important for Easter baskets is what? Rhetorical question for you. Candy. Candy, super easy sign. One of the first signs kids can learn. Pointy finger, straight as could be, touches right here. If you have a dimple, it'd be there. I don't have dimples, so it's just like my wrinkle spot. And then you're gonna twist it twice. Candy, candy. Okay, from the side, candy. Other side, candy. Okay. In a previous lesson, I believe we worked on the sign for look for or hunt. So look for, or, that's another ASL sign, or sorry, another English sign that's intruding in my ASL, or, probably better just to spell that one, or, yeah. So we're going to say look for or hunt. Look for or hunt. It's a pretty easy sign. It's going to be that C hand-shaped dominant hand, going to go right in front of your face in circles in front of your eyes like this. Okay. So on Easter, what do? You're going to look for eggs. Maybe you're going to look for bunnies. Maybe you would find a bunny. Maybe you would find a chocolate bunny. Chocolate. The C, this is a popular hand shape for us today. The C rests, this is my dominant hand, letter C. You guys are good with that, I think. My non-dominant hand is just an S hand shape with the arm flat. And on the back of that hand, I'm just making the C go in a circle. Chocolate. Chocolate. So you can ask, eyebrows up, are you looking for a chocolate bunny? Are you looking for Easter eggs? And then you could add that question, where? Where are they? Where? Maybe Dad collected all of them first, and you have none. Sorry. Mean dad jokes. All right. So actually, that's a couple of the signs from further down the list was chocolate. And then we did hunt or look for. We did candy. We did cold. We did hot. And then if you're looking for something, you may find it. So you can do this with just your dominant hand. It doesn't have to be fancy or formal. You can just have your hand up like this and it dips down like you spot something and you're picking it up. Much better to show this from this side, I think. Boop. You're just going to pick it up like that. Okay? So that is find. Sometimes you'll see they might use the left non-dominant hand down flat to establish, like, I don't know, this is the concealing surface, and this hand will dip down below and then pull it up past the other hand. Find, find. So you can do this, or maybe you've got a coffee cup in this hand, or a basket, maybe a basket full of Easter eggs. Then you want to just sign find. What did you find? How many? How many did you find? 3, 4? You found 15 eggs? Oh my gosh. Okay? Lots of facial expression. Really important when you're signing with deaf children. All right. So we did find. We did... Oh, I haven't done collect. Okay, I signed it, but I didn't teach you. Collect is kind of a fun one. So you have... This is my non-dominant hand is out, representing this broad, flat surface from which I'm going to collect all the things. So the other hand is going to alternate between being a flat hand with the thumb extended and almost like a bent flat hand. Well, it's not like, it is a bent flat hand. So flat hand like this or bent flat hand. This is what my dominant hand is going to do, is almost like a waving motion. Only instead of waving it vertically, we're going to turn it on its side. And what it's going to do is it's going to move in a circle around, making that motion like I'm collecting all the things and bringing them to this hand. So again, like you're going to handshake with somebody, then you're going to bend it in kind of like a curving motion a little bit. So you're going to make this sign, So you're collecting things, okay? You could be collecting all the eggs or all the eggs, all right? Good. What else do I have for you? I really only have one more sign, one more concept, or maybe two that we can talk about really quick. What's my time? Oh, we're doing good. This is a good family length lesson. Okay, so one sign for an animal that you also might encounter at Easter time or at other times is a chicken. So chicken, you're going to have this flat surface. Think of this as the barnyard. This is it. This is what it looks like, or the yard in which the chicken resides. And then you're going to take, it's basically like an L, but then your fingers just pinch together. These other three are all curled under, okay? So this is a sign you would use for a bird. You would just hold it here by the corner of your mouth with these two sticking out and then closing, representing, what could it be? The beak, right? Bird. Then what you're going to do is take the bird sign, and it's going to come without touching like bird up here yet. It's going to peck at your hand instead of up here, peep peep. It's going to go down and touch the hand. So from the side it'll look like this. That's chicken, okay? Just like the chickens peck at the ground to get their food, okay? And when I touch here, I'm making little yums. Chicken, okay? So doesn't matter whether you're talking about a rabbit, a chicken, a horse, a dog. There are ways of doing those signs with those initial letters, but it's not necessary. The easier way to sign all of that in ASL is you sign the animal and then you add the sign for baby. Okay? My camera's not at a good, my arms are too long. It doesn't do you any good if I sign it down here. So it's going to be right about at your belly button, and you're going to make, I don't know, have we done this one before? You have flat hands, dominant rests on the just at the wrist of the non-dominant, to like you would cradle a baby, and then you rock it back and forth. So if you're talking about chicks, you would sign chicken and then baby. All right? Or if you're talking about a dog, you would sign dog and then baby. Or a baby bunny, you could sign bunny and then baby. All right? So just another nice general rule for you. Whenever you're talking about baby animals, which are really common, it's really, you find them everywhere in children's books or children's movies. Now you have the power, I give it to you, to sign the names for like any and all of those words that represent young animals. Now, deaf children, they really benefit from starting off with this exposure to ASL. But later, as they get older, they're going to need to start making these connections with what we would call the L2, the second language, which is English. But still, all this emphasis on ASL does not ignore the fact that children are going to have to learn how to read and write, and maybe talk in English too. So we're using ASL as kind of the first language to develop all this communication, all this language, and like kind of their brains, and then we can start transitioning to more English. So finger spelling, again, is really important. I hope that through these lessons you've learned your letters and your spelling, and you've been practicing, and because it's really helpful. There is no reason why you cannot sign, like you want to establish that word puppy. Want your deaf child or your hard of hearing child to know that word. And it's a little frustrating that ASL does not use something like a P to make it clear. So what you want to do is you can sign dog and then baby and then spell puppy. You can add the English word by spelling. That follows the rules and the heart and everything that is good about ASL, and it allows you to kind of tie it to English in a very important way. So do not, how do I say it? Do not miss that opportunity. Anytime there's a specific English word and you feel like you want to expose that English word, but the ASL sign is not specific enough or clear enough, add the finger spelling. It's fine. You can do that. So one last example that I will kind of leave with today is for those funny yellow candy birds, those peeps. So with your children, if you celebrate Easter, if they have an Easter basket, and if they have candy in their basket, and if they have, now I'm doing a terrible job of showing you, peeps, it should bounce, okay? P-E-E-P-S. Because you could do peeps. I think that one makes more sense, that double letter. Now I've thrown myself a curveball. There's a rule for that E. I'm trying to remember if it's bounced. Like L with no contact point moves. So I think you do have to make the contact twice. I'll teach you contact twice. I will try to find out if I'm right and I'll get back to you. But P, okay, peeps. Just expose your child to that one word. You can just spell that again and again and again. Deaf kids are smart as heck. They will figure out, oh, that combination of letters, those shapes, the up, down, all that represents the word, and they will learn it. They will. The research on it is clear. So, I want to wish all of you who celebrate it a happy Easter, and I hope that you have a wonderful time with your family. I will with mine, God willing. And then I will see you again with the next lesson in the series, which should be the first. We're still working on the where questions. We'll be working on classifiers to help show and explain. There's really a better way to talk about where things are in ASL. So, be well. I'll see you next time, and more power to you. Bye.